Okay, I think we'll get started because we have a packed program for today. So I'm Sharon Mitchell, co-president of Impact 100. And together with Anne-Marie Henkel, our other co-president, I'd like to welcome you to today's Meet the Finalist event. We have an action-packed day planned for you. And the presenters that you'll be hearing from today, after Anne-Marie and I are done, then Laura Menge will be joining. She is our young philanthropist, philanthropist liaison, and does a fabulous job of leading that program. And she will be introducing this year's class of YPs. Kathy Thornton, our grant review coordinator, will then take a few minutes to remind everybody how we got to where we are right now in the grant review cycle. And then she will introduce Lisa DeGate, who is our nonprofit coordinator, and Lisa will introduce our 6 finalists, a very, very exciting part of today's program. Then Rhiannon Hoeweler will take us through a couple of upcoming membership events, and Deepika Andavarapu, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Chair, will share with you some of the exciting program we have done and are doing this year in the area of diversity. Finally, Anne-Marie and I will wrap it up. So that's our program for today. Anne-Marie, over to you.
Thank you, Sharon, and welcome again to everybody. And a quick reminder, if you can just share on your social about today's event and the finalists, we're excited. And if you can help us spread the word about that on Facebook with Impact 100 Cincinnati, on Twitter at Impact 100, and on Instagram at Impact 100 Cincinnati. So again, feel free throughout the presentation, especially afterwards, to get the word out on social about this year's finalist. And now I would like to just take a time to give a special thank you to our sponsors this year. And if you're a member, you know that 100% of membership dollars goes to our grant recipients. And that means that we have very few operating dollars if it weren't for our sponsors and their support. And we could not do this incredible work without them. So first up is our big impact sponsor, MH Equipment. And I just like to tell you a little bit about them. Their vision is to be regarded as an employer of choice, a trustworthy partner, and an ethical market leader in their communities by providing customers innovative solutions and unparalleled value. They have 5 values that they live by, and I want to just highlight the last one, which speaks to why they are supporting Impact 100. That value is to invest in our communities for a positive impact by coming alongside our employees' passions with support and financial assistance. So thank you so much to MH Equipment for being our big impact sponsor. And now for our partner sponsors are the Elsa Heisel-Sewell Foundation, Mackey, Pro Bono, and Stiefel. And for our advocate sponsors, the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, Leadership Council, Lisa Brown Presents, and Neil's Design Remodel. And our Friends of Impact are Grants Plus and the Manuel D. and Rhonda Mayerson Foundation. We'd like to sincerely thank each of these sponsors for supporting our work. And with that, I will turn it back over to Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Anne-Marie. I thought we would give a quick refresher on what Impact 100 is and how this whole thing works. So each year, each member donates $500 or $1,000, and we pool these dollars into very large grants of at least $100,000. This is the collective giving model that we use. Next, we get to work, and it is an incredible process that is 100% member driven. Our members come together in teams and committees. They review the grant proposals, do site visits, conduct financial analyses, and they select the strongest projects as finalists. Those finalists present their projects, our members vote, and then $100,000 grants are awarded to those selected. The grants fund big projects that have a large transformative impact in our community. So while few of us can individually donate a $100,000 to fund a grant each year, when we pool our resources in this way, we're able to multiply our giving impact and fund breakthrough projects. And the great part, 100% of membership dollars, as Anne Marie just said, are given directly to nonprofits to support these breakthrough projects. So this is Impact 100's 20th anniversary. Happy anniversary, Impact 100. And in celebration of our 20th anniversary, Impact 100 created the Next Step Awards for smaller nonprofit organizations in our community, those with budgets of $500,000 or less. The Next Step Awards are an opportunity to introduce Impact 100 to new nonprofit partners and expose our members to smaller, grassroots, and diverse organizations within our community. Impact 100 will award a total of $60,000 to organizations that are addressing a community need with a project or a program that is innovative, collaborative, and once again, transformative. We received over 50 applications that are creative and exciting, and we look forward to sharing with you our Next Step Award recipients in the month of August. Okay, so next, we're going to get to meet our new young philanthropists. So Laura Menge leads our Young Philanthropist program and does a fabulous job of doing that. And she's going to introduce you to this year's new class. Laura?
Thanks so much, Sharon. I'm Laura. It's my pleasure and privilege and joy to be the liaison for this program for Impact 100. The YP Scholarship began in 2015 as a way to encourage membership and engage more women under the age of 40 into our organization. I was a proud member of that very first class. 8 years later, 37 women have been part of the scholarship, committing to a 4-year program that sets them up financially towards full membership. Along the way, they serve on focus area committees, volunteer at events like the annual awards dinner, and join in all membership activities. Several graduates have even gone on to become members of the Impact 100 board. We are indeed achieving our goal of building the next generation of generous leaders, not only for Impact 100, but for our entire local philanthropic sector. I love this work. And we are very grateful to the Charlotte R. Schmidlap Fund for making this scholarship possible with their enduring support. We receive many applications every year from an impressive group of women, and this year was no exception. I am elated to introduce to you 5 fantastic women to the 8th class of YP Scholars. Kaneko Kashima is Vice President of Rhizone and owner of The Laundry Spot. She's worked with the American Cancer Society and is deeply involved with equity work. She has an MPH from George Washington University. Sarah Kemmerer is a PR specialist with the Cincinnati Better Business Bureau. She's an active member of the Junior League of Cincinnati, as well as the local chapter of the PR Society of America. She's a UC graduate. Caitlin Lanhart is an engagement manager at Gilman Partners. Before joining Gilman last year, she had a leadership role with the YMCA of Greater Cincinnati. She now serves on the board of Hope House Rescue Mission and was a member of the 2020 class of Cincy Next. Samantha Lane is an inclusive giving officer at the Greater Cincinnati Foundation. Up until recently, she was development director at My Cincinnati, and before that, the American Red Cross. She brings a strong focus on inclusive fundraising and is also a UC alum. And Rachel Larson is the HR account manager for Sheikley HR Solutions. She was a member of the City Year Columbus Corps and a teaching fellow and program director for Breakthrough Cincinnati. She got her MBA from Boston University last year. I hope you will join us all in welcoming these fantastic women to our membership.
Okay, thank you so much, Laura. That is an amazing class. And to all of our members and guests out there, feel free to use the chat box to welcome our new members of the YP class. So thank you so much. Okay, next up we have Kathy Thornton, and Kathy is going to remind us how we got to this point in the grant review cycle, and then we will get an opportunity to meet the finalists. Kathy?
Thanks so much, Sharon, and congratulations to all the new YPs. We are so excited to have you on board. First of all, I want to say a huge shout out, thank you to all of our leaders who helped to get us where we are. This includes all the members of our focus area and nonprofit team. That includes Jenny Berg, who served as education focus chair, Janet Collins, who served as our health and wellness team, Afrooz Karazmi, who led our environment preservation and recreation team, Lisa O'Brien, family, Reagan Smith, culture, Barb Magella, who leads our community investment review committee that helps us to vet out all the financials for our nonprofits, and Lisa DeGate, who's serving as our nonprofit coordinator and working with all of our finalists diligently as we approach our annual award celebration. So just a huge thank you to them and to all the 184 close enough Impact 100 members who invested over 5,000 hours in the grant review process. This takes an incredible team, an incredible amount of perseverance and diligence. And thank you seems sort of not enough, but a huge shout out to all those folks who have been part of this process as we have gone through it this year. To kind of give you a sense of the review, what it has taken us to get here, here's a diagram to help you sort of remember. And if you look sort of around just a little past 12 o'clock, our grant review cycle starts in the fall. So last fall of 2020, we started our process with our letter of intent training. And this was offered to our nonprofit community. And this involved both our own letter of intent and what is expected, as well as some training from our in-kind grant partner, Grants Plus, who helped to give us some information about how to present a compelling idea in their grant application, and also to talk about the effects of the pandemic as you think about a grant application. So those trainings are held in the fall, and then our letters of intent were due back in December. We had over 80 of them this year, so it's a huge number, and we're just so excited to learn more about the nonprofit community. Those were reviewed by our focus area committees in late January and into February. And then those committees selected those nonprofits who would be invited to submit full grant applications. This is after our huge event that announces how many grant dollars we had. And this year we had $515,000 to award. So we will be awarding 103,750 grants. We had common grant training prior for both our grant applicants and for our focus area committees prior to those grant reviews that began in late March and went through the month of April. Following those grant reviews, we had a CERC. Our CERC team takes a look at the financials, and teams identify those focus areas that will go ahead to have site visits. And so we had I think 14 site visits among all the committees. Some of them were virtual and some of them were in person, depending on the nature of the teams. And then a team gets together and looks at all the finalists. CERC reviews them one more time, and the finalists are announced. And that's where we are today. So this is a super exciting time that we announce our finalists in preparation for our annual awards celebration that will be on September 8th. So it's a huge cycle. It takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of work. And it's so rewarding. And so we're so excited to announce a finalist. And so with that, I will turn it over to Lisa DeGate, our nonprofit coordinator and specialist as it relates to our nonprofit finalists. Lisa?
Thank you, Kathy. Can you see my video, everyone? Great. Okay, sorry for the time delay. Well, I have the pleasure of introducing you to the 6 amazing Impact 100 finalists for 2021. And as Kathy mentioned, we've been reviewing letters of intent and applications for the past several months. And these finalists were selected from a group of over 100 nonprofits. We are very excited to be working with them. And just as a quick reminder, the order that you will be hearing about our finalists was set up by a random draw. So as we get started, we want to try to make this an interactive experience. I know many of you are on Zoom calls every day, just like me. So we've got some audience participation here with some trivia questions that we're going to ask you to think about. And this will give you an opportunity to be introduced to the challenges that each of our grant finalists are working on to try to make an impact. So we hope that you get a chance to learn about each of these grant finalists today, not just to remember their efforts, but to go out and share their amazing work in the community. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to get started with our first trivia question. Research has shown that participating in music programs can help students succeed and thrive. According to a U.S. Department of Education study, which of the following are demonstrated benefits of involvement in music? A, higher graduation rates. B, higher mathematics proficiency. C, better SAT scores. D, lower rates of substance abuse, or E, all of the above. So we'll give you all a few minutes to think about that. All right. I think you all are getting the gist of this. I'm going to go ahead and close out the voting. And the answer is, drum roll please, E, all of the above. And with that, I would like to introduce our first finalists. They are Kennedy Heights Arts Center, and they are proposing the Youth Jazz Cincinnati project. High quality music education can help disadvantaged students get off to a better start. Music isn't just an enjoyable activity, it's an investment to help break the cycle. Students who have high levels of involvement in instrumental music have higher graduation rates, higher mathematics proficiency, better SAT scores, and lower rates of substance abuse. The Youth Jazz Cincinnati program offers students the opportunity to study and experience jazz music, inspiring them to develop creative abilities and enabling interactions with professional musicians. Kennedy Heights Arts Center is proposing to expand their Youth Jazz Cincinnati program to serve 175 students from 19 Cincinnati public schools. They will provide a daily after-school intensive program of free music education with an emphasis on jazz for students in grades 4 through 12. This program, in participation with the Cincinnati Public Schools, also provides performance opportunities for students. The program includes student transportation, snacks, and time for study. Funds will be used to hire an additional staff member, pay professional fees for instructors, fund supplies and facility rental, and support travel expenses to regional and national performances. Representing the Kennedy Heights Arts Center, we would like to welcome Ellen Muse-Lindemann, the Executive Director, and Dr. Isidore Rudnick, Fine Arts Curriculum Manager for the Cincinnati Public Schools. Congratulations, Ellen and Isidore.
Thank you so much to Impact 100 for selecting our organization as a finalist for this year's Impact 100 among the other 5 amazing organizations. We are absolutely thrilled to be a part of this process. Kennedy Heights Arts Center is a partner with Cincinnati Public Schools on this impactful new music initiative, Cincinnati Youth Jazz Cincinnati.
Thank you so much to Impact 100. Music changes young people's lives in so many positive and dynamic ways. Youth Jazz Cincinnati removes all financial, transportation, and logistical barriers so that these students, regardless of background and circumstances, can benefit from this amazing and dynamic program.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Ellen and Isidore, and congratulations. So we are on to our next trivia question. Drum roll, please. Thanks. Refugees in our community face a number of barriers to integrating into their new community. Which of the following are barriers they face? A, transportation, B, childcare, C, education, D, language access, and E, all of the above. I'm starting to get the feeling that you all are catching on to the pattern here, which is good. Great. So I think we're going to go ahead and call the poll and show the answer. And as many of you said, it is E, all of the above. Refugees in our community face a lot of challenges, and I would like to introduce our second finalist, which is Refugee Connect, and they are proposing the Community Navigator Program. So refugee families face many barriers to successfully integrate into their new community. Navigating a new culture, language barriers, and unfamiliar systems makes it difficult for families to get access to the most basic resources. Refugee Connect helps refugees overcome these barriers, connects them to community resources, including academic, social, economic, and health-related resources. Refugee Connect's mission is to empower people who were forced to leave their country to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster so they can thrive in America. They currently serve families from 14 countries who speak 12 languages. Refugee Connect is requesting funds to expand their Community Navigator program to serve an additional 100 families. Their grant request covers staffing, support for the Family Stability Fund, and an interpreter fund to support language needs. From Refugee Connect, we would like to welcome Kristen Burgoyne, Executive Director, and Board Member Mirsada Kadirik. Congratulations, Kristen and Mirsada.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Impact 100, for recognizing how important this innovative Community Navigator program is for refugees living in our city. We are so grateful to be represented as finalists in this process. Our community navigators are members of the refugee and immigrant community, so they provide that native language support to newly arrived and other refugees who maybe have been here for a longer period of time, helping to connect them to people and resources to ensure that they're able to thrive as they rebuild their lives here in the greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky region. Again, we are so grateful to have been recognized and to be in this process as finalists.
And as a former refugee myself from Bosnia who found herself struggling with all of the things you guys were just describing, I'm so proud to serve on the board of Refugee Connect, and even more proud that we have been chosen as an organization that helps others who literally find themselves overnight in a situation where they've lost everything in their lives due to no fault of their own. And so thank you again for recognizing us, for giving us this opportunity and believing in the potential of every single human being. Thank you.
Lisa, you are on mute. Sorry.
I'm unmuted now. Thanks. Not sure how that happened, but I won't worry about it. Our third trivia question, thanks. Within Cincinnati, what % of the population lives in areas with limited access to supermarkets with healthy and nutritious food? Is it A, 5%, B, 10%, C, 23%, D, 31%, or E, 46%? All right, we seem to have a lot of people who have chosen D. Why don't we go ahead and show everyone the answer? Unfortunately, the answer is E, 46%. Our third finalist is Green Umbrella, and they are proposing the Common Orchard Project, Fruit Trees for Health and Community. Within Cincinnati, 46% of our population live in areas with limited access to supermarkets and healthy food. Residents in these low-income neighborhoods have a life expectancy of up to 20 years lower than the national average, with higher rates of diet-related disease. At the same time, there are many vacant urban lots that lead to increased crime and more abandoned buildings. The Common Orchard Project turns these unused properties into sources of fresh food, community connection, and pockets of green space. The simple idea of planting orchards on vacant lots in food insecure neighborhoods is one of the building blocks for a more resilient, sustainable community. They are seeking funding to create 30 new orchards on vacant lots. When this expansion is complete, their orchards will produce almost 600,000 pounds of fresh fruit in the next 10 years and help transform neighborhoods. The Common Orchard Project also trains and supports volunteer residents to turn these vacant lots into orchards. As a result, neighborhoods will build community pride and connections with each other while developing skills as they plant and maintain the orchards. Funds will be used for salary and supplies like plants, gardening materials, and equipment. Representing the Common Orchard Project, we would like to welcome Chris Smith, Common Orchard Project Director, and Ryan Mooney Bullock, the Executive Director from Green Umbrella. Congratulations, Chris and Ryan.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you, Impact 100 members, for including us in your finalists. As the Executive Director of Green Umbrella, I can tell you that our board and staff was so excited to be able to bring the Common Orchard Project into our portfolio of programs in 2021. And we did that because we believe it is a truly transformational project that works at the intersection of social needs, health needs, community building, and environmental quality. And we look forward to sharing lots more about it with you in the coming months.
Yeah, I want to say thank you as well. I'm actually surprised at how kind of overwhelmed I feel right now, just honored at all of your work and support of this. It's been, we started in 2017 planting orchards in the way that we're planting them now. And we've learned a lot about growing food with our neighbors from the 13 orchards we've put in so far in Cincinnati and some in Cleveland. But this year, really, there's so much support from our national partners at Giving Grove who are helping us figure out things that they've been working on since 2013. And yeah, from folks like yourself with Impact 100 and just everyone, I am truly honored to be here. Thank you.
Well, congratulations again, Green Umbrella. So we're on to our next trivia question. What factors threaten the likelihood that bright and motivated underrepresented students will reach college? Is it A, a language other than English is spoken at home? B, higher student to teacher ratios in students' community school? C, a lack of access to high quality academic enrichment? D, students' school has inadequate funding and dwindling resources? Or E, all of the above? Yeah, we've got a lot of you are highlighting E, and unfortunately, yes, there are many challenges, and all of the above are the challenges that these students face. Our fourth finalist is Breakthrough Cincinnati, and they are proposing a program called Access for All. Breakthrough Cincinnati advances equity in education. High-performing students in low-income communities do not have access to quality programming to support their level of academic achievement. As a result, their performance slips over time. As they continue to fall behind their peers in other communities, their likelihood of attending college decreases dramatically. Middle school intervention is the key to stopping this downward spiral. Breakthrough Cincinnati closes the academic gap that limits opportunity and success. They intervene just before middle school with a 6-week summer enrichment course that keeps promising students on track. They provide this rigorous academic programming to middle school students who lack access to these resources in their marginalized community schools. In partnership with the North College Hill School District, Access for All will provide on-site programming to reduce summer learning regression, conduct focused interventions to help close the achievement gap, and provide ongoing support and mentorship to increase future enrollments in college. The program will serve 160 students when the 4-year ramp-up is complete. Funds will be used for teaching fellow salaries, administrative salaries and expenses, food supplies, transportation, and field trip costs. Representing Breakthrough Cincinnati, we would like to welcome Elena Elmore, Program Coordinator, and Board Member Carrie Brewer. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. At Breakthrough, we aim to spark joy and lead with love as we energize and empower underrepresented aspirational students who desire to go on to college. Through our Students Teaching Students model, we give students that safe space to grow, learn, and build meaningful relationships in a positive peer community. Breakthrough truly is the place where it's cool to be smart and where students develop a true love for learning. We are eternally grateful to the Impact 100 team and appreciate being a finalist this year. Thank you for believing in the power of young people. Carrie?
Thank you, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be a finalist, especially in such a milestone year for you. It's truly an honor to be considered alongside so many amazing organizations. Thank you so much.
Congratulations again, Breakthrough Cincinnati. Okay, we're moving on to our next trivia question. So, how large is the population served by the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library? Is it A, 200,000, B, 350,000, C, 500,000, D, 700,000, or E, 800,000? Oh, we seem to have a quorum of people who say E is the answer. And guess what? You are all right. It is E. It's about 800,000. Our 5th finalist is the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County Foundation, and they are proposing the My Mobile Library project. Even with 41 locations, believe it or not, Cincinnati has library deserts where people do not have easy access to the library or its services. This problem is even more severe in marginalized communities, where issues such as transportation, time, or awareness make this access a challenge and contribute to the digital divide. The My Mobile Library project will bridge the digital divide by providing a mobile library vehicle outfitted with Wi-Fi, computers, printers, and other technology, as well as dedicated assistance to teach residents in the library desert areas of East Westwood, North Fairmont, Lincoln Heights, Lockland, Evanston, Winton Hills, and Camp Washington. This project will expand the library's footprint by increasing digital access to support the day-to-day needs of residents, like applying for jobs. This project will also expose residents to new technologies and training. Funds will be used to purchase the mobile library and outfit it with Wi-Fi, multiple computers, and printers. The funds to staff, provide upkeep and maintenance, and use of the vehicle will be incorporated into the library's operating budget. Representing the Library Foundation, we would like to welcome Stacy Dennison, the Thomas W. Jones Executive Director, and Paula Bren-Heger, the Eva Jane Romaine Coombe Library Director. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. This is such an exciting honor to be recognized as a finalist this year for such an important project for our community, and to work every day with Paula and the library to make access to technology and materials a reality for our community, all of our community.
Thanks, Stacy. And just to add to that, we all know during the pandemic, we learned even more how important that access to technology is, but not just the hardware to go along with that. Interested, caring staffers and experts that can go out to all areas of our community and really train folks to engage with technology in meaningful, consistent ways. We appreciate so much the chance to talk with you. An honor to be a finalist, and also randomly being selected as the last person to present gave us a chance to hear such great information and really reinforce what a wonderful model this is for giving, and what an impressive group of finalists you have this year. Thank you for your time and consideration.
And congratulations again, Library Foundation. So we are now on to our 6th trivia question. So, how much more likely are individuals living in poverty to experience victimization versus those in higher income levels? Is it A, 10% more, B, 25% more, C, 50% more, D, 75% more, or E, twice as much? And it looks like the quorum is with the answer E, twice as much, and yes. Sad to say, the answer to this question is twice as much. Our 6th finalist is Seven Hills Neighborhood Houses, and they are proposing the Trauma Recovery Center. The Seven Hills Trauma Recovery Center provides crisis intervention to trauma victims, serving often forgotten and neglected populations. Their counselors help our neighbors who are most vulnerable, including those who are elderly, experiencing homelessness, suffering from mental illness, identifying as LGBTQ, or those who have past felony records. Seven Hills was selected by the Attorney General's office as one of only 5 sites in Ohio to be a trauma recovery center. Seven Hills is seeking funding to relocate the Trauma Recovery Center from its current location, housed in a community building with several other programs and services, to a dedicated refurbished building. The new facility will provide a more private, safe, and family-like environment, along with increased care services, including emergency shelter for trauma victims. Funds will be used to renovate and furnish space to provide an emergency shelter for trauma victims. Valuing the need for this project, the state of Ohio has already awarded $105,000, and the city of Cincinnati has contributed $102,500. An Impact 100 grant will bring the funding very close to the $361,000 needed for this project. Representing the Seven Hills Neighborhood Houses, we would like to welcome Alexis Kidd, Executive Director, and Janice Sewell, a Trauma Recovery Center counselor. Congratulations.
Thank you. Truly, thank you, Impact 100, for the opportunity of Seven Hills Neighborhood Houses being considered one of the finalists. We thank you all for the hours that you put in reviewing these applications. And we just thank you all for believing in our dream, and providing a safer place for the victims to come to be treated and to be healed and delivered from their traumatic experiences. Alexis?
Yes, thank you all. Seven Hills Neighborhood Houses has been providing services to underserved, underprivileged disenfranchised individuals for over 60 years. And 20 of those years have been with victims of crime. And so we're really excited about the opportunity that we have to provide this safe refuge for victims of trauma to heal and to get free, in the words of our coordinator. So thank you all for this opportunity and have a wonderful day.
Congratulations again. So before I turn this back over to Anne Marie, I want to thank all of our finalists for being with us today. And on behalf of all of us at Impact 100, congratulations to each of you. Anne Marie, over to you.
Great, thank you, Lisa. It's my pleasure to now introduce Rhiannon Hoeweler, our membership co-chair. Rhiannon?
Hi, ladies. How are you? I'm sorry. Even after a year and a half, I'm still struggling with getting my video on. Thanks so much for having me chat with our ladies on here. I really appreciate it, and thanks to everybody for showing up. We are really excited about some upcoming events. I am Rhiannon Hoeweler. I'm the membership co-chair, and my partner in crime is Nancy Kieser. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of events that are coming up. We have our Unplug with Impact events. So we have already kicked off a couple in June at Otto Armletter and Burnett Woods, and we have a few more coming up in July. And so there's going to be a lot of art, some great hikes, and some great food. So please take a look and sign up for some of the events that are coming up in July with Unplug with Impact. And when you do that, bring a friend. These are great places for us to introduce women to Impact 100, to the nonprofits that we are so blessed to serve. And it's a great way to have some fun outside and learn about your community a little bit more. So hopefully we'll see you at an event, an Unplug with Impact event sometime in July or August. And then also just to kind of walk you through, it's never too early to become a 2022 member. It's a great way, like you can join anytime during 2021 to become a 2022 member. By joining earlier, you really help the board. It also gives us a really good handle on the number of grants that we'll be able to provide next year. So please join early and often. And if you join sometime before the AAC, which is the annual award celebration, or the night of the annual award celebration, we will enter you into a raffle for a $100 gift card. So definitely got to get that plug in there because we want to keep the members that we have, also bring in new members. And we would love for you to sign up for 2022. And then finally, we also, the other arm of our team, or one of the other arms of our team, is recruiting. And what I like to say is we always, we're like peanut butter and jelly, membership and recruiting, right? We go together. So this is a year for us to ask you to participate with us in being a top recruiter. What does that mean? That means host a spread the word event. So Barbara and Stacy are our recruiting team. They will do all the work. All you have to do is invite your friends. So just pick a date, pick a time and a location, and the recruiting team will do the rest to help you get it up and rolling. And it's a great way for your friends to learn about Impact 100. You can bring a guest to any one of our signature events, the annual award celebration, Giving Tuesday, or the EDU event. That's another great way to recruit folks, or just simply refer people to us and we'll do the heavy lifting for you. If you do any one of those three things, you'll be entered into also a raffle as well. We're trying to incentivize you to help us bring in more women. Hopefully what you're seeing today, hopefully what you've seen before from Impact 100, it's an easy sell, right? What we do is really impactful for Cincinnati and for the greater Cincinnati region. And we would love for you to join us and bring other people to the table to join us. So that's really it from me. Thanks, Anne Marie, for allowing me the opportunity to chat with our ladies. And thanks so much, ladies, for being here. And thanks to our nonprofits. I'm really excited to see you in September.
Great, thanks, Rhiannon. And it's also my pleasure to introduce Deepika Andavarapu, who is our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Chair. So with that, I will turn it over to Deepika.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Wow, what a group of finalists, right? I mean, I think we have covered everything from educational disparities to health disparities to resource disparities. And what I am really blown away with the finalists is most of them have a very acute equity lens, and that didn't happen just like that, right? It happened because most of our members have started using the equity lens in reviewing the grants, and we have all been on our own diversity, equity, and inclusion journey, and you have all embraced the equity aspects that we have and leaned into that space. So, and here comes my interruption on time, but we'll go along. Next slide, please. So we are coming back to you with another round of equity conversations. We have two books, The Color of the Law and The Caste, and we are partnering with Mercantile Library, who have done a fabulous job last year with our Just Mercy book. If you have participated in that conversations, it was super powerful. And we will again have the similar Mercantile Library will be hosting these book discussions. The first series is The Color of Law. It is starting next week. We have June 29th and July 27th. And the next series, this time we have a Black American Tree Project, which is a very interactive virtual workshop to get us a deeper understanding into racial inequities in the system. We highly encourage you to register for that. And I think we will, the sign up should be available in the July newsletter. If you will miss that, we have yet another conversation coming up in September and October around caste. Both the books and the Black American Tree Project are all free, and you can bring a guest, your friend, your neighbor, your sister, and you can go on this journey with them and introduce them to the Impact 100 model. And the other piece is, and we'll kind of keep leaning into that equity in grant making piece. In July 15th, we are going to have a conversation with BI3, United Way, and Greater Cincinnati Foundation. All three local nonprofit organizations will talk about their own equity journey in grant making and how they have incorporated equity into their grant making process. So both these opportunities will allow us to go on our own personal DEI journey, as well as move Impact 100 on its own impact DEI journey. So thank you all. We hope to see you at these upcoming events. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to the DEI team. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Deepika. And I am, it's my pleasure to announce that we will be live and in person for our annual award celebration this year. It is scheduled for Wednesday, September 8th at Music Hall. We're thrilled that we will be able to celebrate our 20th anniversary in person with dinner by the bite and an opportunity to engage with our finalists that we got introduced to via Zoom today, but we're looking forward to seeing them in person on September 8th. So please keep your eye out on more information will be coming in the following weeks, and we're excited that you'll be able to join us on Wednesday, September 8th for the annual award celebration. And the next slide is just, we really want to give a special thank you to all the nonprofits that went on the journey with us this year. It was definitely an honor and a privilege to learn more about each of the organizations through their letters of intent, their grant applications, and site visits. We so appreciated and to learn about all the difference that every one of these organizations is making in our community. And it's been exciting, especially today, then to have these 6 finalists as announced and part of our 2021 and 20th anniversary celebration. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Anne Marie. So in closing, I would just like to say a huge thanks to all of our members. You know, as we celebrate our 20th anniversary, we can celebrate already having invested over $5.5 million in our community through breakthrough projects, which is just an amazing feat and something that every one of our members can be proud of. So thank you. And we really look forward to seeing you in person on September 8th for the annual awards celebration. We also look forward to hearing from this fabulous set of finalists. Thank you so much and congratulations again. And that concludes our program for today. Thanks to everybody for joining us.